Fantasy Fact Podcast, Episode 2. Here, deep in the festering bowel of a recently deceased manatee, things may appear placid, even beautiful. As the saying goes, entrails are a poetry of their own. But all is not as it seems, for this manatee is a victim of crime.
That's 110, checking in.
All units, got a woman on the line saying someone is out digging in her garden, stealing her vegetables.
Crime! Is it an epidemic, or is it a word? These days it seems even our politicians do things wrong sometimes. Everyone's committed a crime, but not everyone has thought about whether manatees are culpable for their crimes. Under laws, the answer is yes, 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 but thoughts about crime invite questions about crime. Is crime the same as togetherness? Is it persuasive? What do criminals fear most? Is it love? The puzzles are endless and livid. Livid? Crime by manatees has historically ranged from everyday lettuce theft to the sabotage of shipyards. In popular music culture, manatees and outlawishness have long been linked.
My mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns, but I shot a manatee in Reno just to watch him die. This episode is about manatee crime.
But even those who tend not to be surprised by things have tended to be surprised by the surprising recent tendencies. I went to the scene of one incident, a successful if existentially pointless heist conducted by manatees upon a local scullingry.
Well, these guys they got AK-47s, they're having shootouts with the police, they got hostages, they just went all out.
Witnesses say the brutality bordered on gratuitous.
The manatees took our belongings. They told us to get in the corner. We have nothing left.
One well-meaning bystander said the act was so aberrational as to be almost unusual.
Generally, it's quiet. Nothing's really going on ever. That was kind of the most excitement that's happened in months. But, it was something to watch.
Police have been expressing their deepest feelings through the medium of press conference.
Our concern is the escalation of violence in these robberies. These suspects not only just jump over the counter and make a demand for cash, they also have been pistol whipping tellers, pushing tellers, grabbing tellers by their hair.
Incidents like this used to be so rare that if they were a type of attractive gemstone, people might befriend infirm widows in order to purloin them. But now, thanks to an invisible clause in the Second Amendment that distributes an autographed presidential hand grenade to each living thing, weaponized manatees are ever present. In this way, a crime is committed no manatee that can help it will refuse. But there's a certain level of violence endemic and irreducible that a creature with such disposition. The worst problem has been gangs, with a further smaller subsidiary worst problem tucked into the flap of the original larger worst problem being the notorious Louisiana manatee street gang, the Jambalaya Boys. Jambalaya Boys! To get a sense of what's going on and who to blame, I put this question to Nathan Robinson, a manatee sociologist at Harvard University, who said the reasons we have crime in this country are many.
The reasons we have crime in this country are many.
And there are a lot of things that converge to make crime a big problem in this country.
And there are a lot of things that converge to make crime a big problem in this country.
It's a different Nathan Robinson. To experience the gang problem more upfrontwardly, I attended an illicit manatee airlift, in which the creatures gather by a cliffside and ascend like stocky mammalian kites towards the heavens as part of a depraved initiation ritual. As the flock of manatees becomes airborne, blue skies turn grey with bodies, and predictable odours ensue. When they pass above, a lone chickpea falls from the mouth of the rightmost manatee and lands in your palm. The sight is disconcerting. For an inflated description of the problem's volume, I spoke with Jonathan Ozick, a blues guitarist who had handed me his resume, about the threat young people are increasingly feeling from manatees.
Thursday we did a session. We said, how many of you have actually been attacked with regards to, the gangs? We had about 15 young people.
Osick says much of the problem is due to superficial roaming manatees who care more about their appearance than the safety of the nation.
Yes, a lot of them do carry guns for fashion statements, and there's a difference, but again, the threat is magnified.
Osick raises some kind of point. After all, if there is nothing a manatee fears more than a marine biologist, there's nothing a marine biologist fears more than a manatee with an oversized switchblade knife. Yet even as the number of undersea policemen in America has consistently hovered around 0, those that are assigned to the manatee beat are often outwitted, left scurrying around impotently like second graders playing the old schoolyard game of which way did that manatee go. I got together a series of children and asked what questions they would have if they could confront the manatees responsible for their parents' deaths. Their answers were predictably inane.
Miss Manatee, your eyes look strange. Why?
Do you have lungs? You must have lungs. Pardon me, ma'am, but you look all gray and wrinkled. Why?
I don't see any ears. How are you hearing us?
Internet revolutionists would have you believe that crime has become democratized. These days, they insist between mouthfuls of Fritos, crime looks less like the pilfered handbag kitten or the unwanted tongue in ear at an academic conference, and more like a misappropriated penetrative JPEG or an unpaid-for quality nature podcast. But I think I've shown that none of this is correct, and that even today, violence doesn't not exist. In our cities, intestines remain strewn from the balcony, bank vaults are regularly emptied by Sneaky Flipper, and crime is something. But here down a mine shaft in western Appalachia, nobody seemed to care much about me or my podcast. I guess people have different perspectives on things sometimes. For the Manatee Fact podcast, I've been Nathan Robinson. And now, to play us out... To play us out? What does that mean, to play us out? Oh, sorry, I know exactly what that means. I'm an idiot. James Brown! 1